UNCP celebrates its 135th anniversary.
And the Rumba on the Lumber incites a weekend full of family fun.
Those stories plus, students react to changes in mask requirements. I'm Jay Locklear.
And I'm Jayla Coley. You're watching Carolina News Today.
Voluntary masking has taken effect in North Carolina. This has led the state's private and public colleges to change their mask mandates. CNT reporter Sonny Delmar asked students how they feel about the lifting of the mask requirements here at UNCP. Some are excited about the return to normalcy, and most seem tolerant of people who are still worried.
How you guys doing today?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing outstanding. I wanted to ask you fellas, how do you guys feel about the UNCP mask mandate, them allowing us to make it an option whether or not we want to wear masks?
I feel like personally, with the virus still around, I feel like we should still wear our masks. But, people have their choices, and yeah.
Okay. What about you, man? What do you think?
I'm honestly all for it. I can finally breathe. Don't have to be in class while wearing a mask. Can barely hear the professors whenever they're speaking during their lectures. So
right, it sounds a lot muffled, right?
Yeah.
You don't. Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about UNCP's new option of whether or not students can wear a mask or choose not to wear a mask on campus?
I feel like it's like teaching us for the real world because now that's an option. So I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, it's the real world. You can go to Walmart whether you want to wear a mask or whether you don't want to wear a mask. It's optional.
Okay, thank you.
I don't really care either way, so.
So it doesn't affect you?
No, not really.
Did you like wearing the mask?
No, but if you want to keep yourself protected, then you should wear a mask.
Okay, cool answer. Thank you.
Well, about the mask mandate, I feel if you don't feel like you're protected, then you should wear a mask. It's all about personal preference to me.
I haven't really felt like any negative push from students who are wearing masks or vice versa,
Okay.
So I feel pretty comfortable about it.
UNCP is celebrating 135 years of legacy by spreading Founders Day observances across the whole week. Established as Crowington Normal School on March 7, 1887, UNCP began as the only state-supported American Indian college in the nation. To kick off the week, a Founders Day program was held at Old Main on Monday to acknowledge the 7 men who planted the seeds of what the school has become. I was able to attend that event, which honored the university's history and heritage. UNCP celebrated its 135th birthday on Monday with a Founders Day program acknowledging the university's past and future. Students and guests were asked to participate by singing and performing Lumbee tribe traditions. Guest speakers were invited to share their experiences at the institution and how their involvement on campus shaped them into the people they are today. SGA President Dana Hunt Locklear says that this university is a part of her own family legacy.
All my family went here, my brothers went to school here, and so there were a lot of times that I went to class with them because I came from a single parent, low income household, and so UNCP did a really good job of taking care of me then and taking care of me now.
UNCP grew out of a vision to improve the circumstances of American Indians of Robertson County. As the institution blossomed, many people from different ethnic backgrounds were invited to attend. Dr. Lawrence Locklear, director of the Office of Student Inclusion and Diversity, says, with the help of the 7 founders, this institution has become a success.
So I think without the vision and the dedication of the 7 founders, that this institution would have not come to fruition, because it took their political clout, their financial support, but also their relationships with Indian people and others in the community to make sure that the school was successful.
Many students were unaware of the impact that this university has had on both its students and the town of Pembroke. Tiana Parnell was one of them.
I learned a lot more about UNCP's history, the founding of the university, and how the town came after the university. I also didn't know that we had 7 founders. I thought it was just like 4.
UNCP's rich history will continue out its legacy for years to come. I'm Jayla Coley, reporting for Carolina News Today.
The Student Government Association held their annual Art Night Thursday, and this year it wasn't just art majors showing their talent. CNT reporter Sonny Delmar checked it out.
Here on campus, we are surrounded by the aesthetic artwork like the cool sculptures located in front of the UC. As students finish class and homework, they have the opportunity to work on some of their own artwork and creativity at SGA's Art Night.
SGA hosted its Art Night on March 3rd, 2022, here on campus at the University Center.
The Department of Art and SGA partnered together with its Art Night, giving students the opportunity to come out and take part in their creativity. Friends, fun, music, and art were all provided at the Art Night, and students from all over campus took part.
So basically what we're trying to do out here is not only just showcase some of the artwork from a lot of our art majors, part of the art club, but also have some activities for some of the students to do here.
The Art Night began at 6 o'clock p.m. and ran up until 8 o'clock p.m. The beautiful artwork from the members of the art department were all on display, making it a one-of-a-kind event. The first couple of students to come out to the Art Night were able to get themselves a free t-shirt. Students felt really good about the event as a whole.
It was a good show out. Friends, family, there were families here even outside of the campus. Music is pretty fire. I think we should definitely do this again.
Carolina News Today, I'm Sonny Delmar.
It's been 2 long years for the Robinson Roadrunners Club. 2 years since their last Rumba on the Lumber Festival because of COVID. Last weekend's event took over much of downtown Lumberton with 5K and 10K races and a 1-mile fun run. There was entertainment all day on the downtown plaza along with food and craft vendors. They had about 200 registered runners for the certified distant runs on Saturday. One highlight of the day is the chili cook-off that benefits the Lumberton Junior Service League.
A mother and her 2 children were able to leave the war zone in Ukraine and reunite with family in North Carolina. It was all made possible by 2 total strangers. Josh Chapin from WTVD was there for the emotional reunion.
The hugs couldn't wait for Helena Marchenko and her 2 children. Relatives running down before they fully cleared security to greet them after their expedition from Ukraine to Raleigh.
On Wednesday it was normal life for us, and on Thursday everything changed. And it was so scary because I have 2 small children.
Helena met by her 2 sisters and others with balloons and flowers at RDU International Airport.
Yes, I'm lucky, but there are so many people in Ukraine, women especially with children, who are not so lucky.
These 3 and 2 other family members started in Kyiv. Helena's husband, who cannot leave the country, drove them to Lviv, and from there they walked for hours before being picked up by Polish friends.
From Warsaw to München, from München to Washington, and from Washington here, and now I'm safe and my children safe, so I'm very thankful.
Still the husbands are there, our brothers are there, our children are there, they are fighting for our freedom, Ukrainian is the most peaceful nation in the world.
Uliana is her sister.
My mom is still there, and she said that, Uliana, when sun comes down, I'm so scared. Our capital is destroyed.
These folks were able to get out of harm's way because of the generosity of an Apex couple. They've donated hundreds of thousands of United miles to help people like Helena. A United team also waited at RDU to greet everybody.
It's amazing, it's amazing. I don't have words to explain to you. It's amazing that we're all together, all family together finally, in a safe place. Now I can sleep.
TikTok announced Sunday it is restricting some features in Russia in light of President Vladimir Putin's new law penalizing what he calls fake news. The social media app is suspending live streaming and new content from Russia for the time being. Under a new law, anyone that spreads what Russia terms misinformation about its military could be subject to a 15-year prison sentence. Russian TikTok stars not affiliated with the government have gone silent. Simply using words like war and invasion could be a crime. TikTok says its in-app messaging service will continue to work in Russia while they evaluate the policy.
In Laurinburg, UNCP professor Terrence Dollard stays connected to Ukrainian relatives over an app called Viber. He's got a brother and sister-in-law who are doctors at a hospital in Kyiv and can't leave. His mother-in-law took the children and headed west, but have not left the country.
As far as I know, they're hoping that they can stay in Ukraine. They don't necessarily want to go into Poland or another country because they'd be, as it is now, they're staying at a friend's house. So because somebody knew somebody else, they were able to find a place and they can, be there on their own. But if they're in, Poland or another EU country, then they have no real place to go, and the United States isn't letting any refugees in yet. So they're hoping that they can stay as long as they can before things get really bad.
Ukraine's president begs for more aid as the invasion escalates.
And boycotts in Russia products may be missing their intended target.
This week marks the 57th anniversary of the Civil Rights March in Selma.
Those stories when we come back.
Don't miss the opportunities the school gives you to have an experience of a lifetime. You meet a lot of smart students here, people from different parts of the world, and you learn about their cultures, their beliefs, their personalities. One of my favorite things is the faculty and staff. Your professors give you that opportunity to be personal with them. They will sit down with you and talk you through the things you can't understand in and out of class. Ask them about their lives. Tell them what you're thinking about doing. They are good resources to get you to where you need to be. So get good grades, interact with faculty and staff, including the chancellor. Come to UNCP.
A man in North Carolina thought his health was turning around. He had just received a kidney from his wife, but then he was seriously injured in a car accident on the way home from the hospital. WSOC's Susanna Black has more.
This here was our Indy race at Indianapolis, working for Jimmy Johnson.
Throughout the 2000s, Nick Deal was the real deal, working on pit crews for several major NASCAR drivers.
That's all I got to think about nowadays is the old days.
2 years ago, Nick was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. His high school sweetheart, Donna, says she couldn't stand by and watch her husband, who always lived life to the fullest, struggle through the symptoms. So she got tested to be a living donor, and turns out she was Nick's perfect match.
We were so excited. It's just a burden lifted off my shoulders, knowing I was going to get to live.
The two were whisked into surgery on February 9th, and Nick says he took to Donna's kidney immediately.
My hands didn't hurt, my feet didn't hurt. I had a little bit of energy again. It was like a whole new body.
It was the start of a new beginning. Donna was discharged after just a couple of days, and Nick was set to meet her at home on Valentine's Day.
I got up that morning, was kidding around all the nurses, what your sweetheart give you for Valentine's. I told him, "Hon gave me a kidney. I can live again."
But as he traveled down I-85 later that morning,
my niece called me hysterically, saying they had been in an accident on the interstate.
Chopper 9 caught the crash from the sky. Nick's niece was driving her uncle home when Donna says another driver hit their side and an armored truck slammed into them from behind. Nick was airlifted to Atrium in Charlotte, where 2 teams of surgeons were waiting to try and save his new organ. Donna says the hours that followed were some of the toughest of her life.
Knowing that when he woke up, it would probably be me telling him that the kidney didn't make it, that there's nothing else they could do. Now I have one kidney, and I can't help him again.
Nick is now home, recovering. He too only has one kidney, but the difference is it's functioning at just 8%. His only hope now is for another living donor. Donna says she's choosing to believe that the right person will hear their story and help her husband.
As the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues, the situation on the ground there grows increasingly dire. Russian attacks on civilian targets have escalated the Ukrainian president's calls for more assistance from the West and NATO. Cole Higgins of CNN filed this report. It contains material some viewers may find disturbing.
More than 360 civilians killed and many more injured by Russian forces as they try to escape the destruction underway in Ukraine. The UN says the real death toll likely much higher.
What are they trying to achieve? To bring us to our knees?
On Sunday, constant heavy shelling north and west of the capital city, Kyiv. The Russian military bombarding a checkpoint for civilian evacuations, leaving at least 2 children dead, according to Ukrainian authorities.
They are preparing to bomb Odessa. This will be a war crime. This will be a historic crime.
Amid new fears that Russia will soon expand attacks to more major Ukrainian cities, President Volodymyr Zelensky making an urgent appeal to political leaders around the world.
If you don't at least give us airplanes so we can defend ourselves, the only thing we can think is that you also want us to be killed slowly.
U.S. officials confirmed the White House is in talks with Poland on the possibility of backfilling their fighter jets so that Poland can give their Russian-made jets to Ukraine. And now the U.S. is looking at new paths to stop the Russian onslaught.
Today, Russian oil and gas smells Ukrainian blood. So instead of donating money to us, just stop buying it.
We are now talking to our European partners and allies to look in a coordinated way at the prospect of banning the import of Russian oil.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
The backlash against Russia is growing across several industries. Russian vodka is one of those targets, even triggering a name change for one brand. At least 8 states, including North Carolina, have pulled Russian-branded alcohol from government stores. But CNN's Jen Sullivan tells us there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace.
A growing number of states are boycotting Russian-made booze in support of Ukraine.
I have no intentions of bringing them back.
Officials in at least 8 states, including Ohio, Utah, Oregon, North Carolina, Alabama, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New Hampshire, are calling on liquor stores to remove Russian-made or Russian-branded products from their shelves.
We sell anywhere around $20 million of Russian-based product at any given over the course of any given year, out of the $1 billion or so of spirits that we do sell. So it does have some impact.
But experts say the move may miss the intended target because few alcohol brands are imported from Russia and sold in the U.S. In fact, many of the top-selling vodka brands with Russian origins are now distilled in other countries, including the U.S.
Boom. That's how we feel about it.
One example, Stoli vodka, which is only Russian by name. The vodka is actually made in Latvia, and the company is headquartered in Luxembourg. The invasion triggered a rebrand with the company, announcing it will be sold and marketed only as Stoli. Another example is Smirnoff. Although the brand traces its heritage to 19th century Russia, the company has long been owned by a British spirits company and is manufactured in Illinois.
I suppose if there were a Russian beer or a Russian wine, that's coming off the shelves too.
2 of the few vodka brands actually produced in Russia are Russian Standard and Green Mark. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Sunday marked the 57th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, a defining moment in the fight for equal voting rights. Vice President Kamala Harris, along with thousands of others, gathered in Selma, Alabama to commemorate the pivotal moment in American history. WAKA's Kay McGabe has the story.
Happened here today, I think, is about remembering. It's about rededication and renewal.
Vice President Kamala Harris, along with thousands, gather on an emotional day to commemorate the 57th anniversary of Bloody Sunday.
It's sad, but it's an emotional moment at the same time because there was a lot of people getting beat. A lot of people died on this day.
Several marchers like Paul LeBay say he traveled all the way from West Palm Beach to help bring awareness to this fight that's still going on today.
Standing here 57 years later, walking the same bridge, there's still a problem with the things that are going on.
Speakers included Al Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Vice President Kamala Harris, and members of her cabinet, and more. But all in attendance agreed the true pioneers in the crowd were the foot soldiers who were there that day in 1965. Daughter-in-law of Mrs. Amelia Boynton Robinson, Betty Boynton, says she still remembers it all.
They said it was the awful experiment I ever had. I thought all of us was going to die that day. And they didn't stay here on the bridge. They come all in the community, I keep on telling them. Beating people.
Marchers walked across the bridge to continue the fight for voting rights for African Americans. CEO of Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Charles Steele, says one day the work they're doing now will cure racism.
CDC came out with a medical study last April and said racism is a virus. Racism is no different than COVID-19.
An American basketball star seems literally caught in the middle of the U.S. and Russian diplomatic breakdown.
And Braves basketball makes a valiant effort over the Conference Carolinas Championship weekend.
CNT Sports with Deshaun Donald is up next. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm Deshaun Donald. News out of Russia: a two-time Olympic gold medalist and WNBA All-Star is being held on drug charges in Moscow. According to the Russian news agency TASS, Brittany Griner was taken into custody at the airport in February. Customs agents allegedly found vapes with liquid cannabis or hash oil in Griner's carry-on, which is illegal in Russia. Griner plays with the Phoenix Mercury in the U.S. and spends her time in the off-season playing for a Russian basketball team. The U.S. State Department says it stands ready to provide all appropriate consular services. WNBA officials issued a statement of support for the 31-year-old Griner, asking for a swift and safe return to the U.S. In Braves action, after a stunning comeback victory in the conference semifinals on Saturday, the men's basketball team advanced to the championship game. Sunday, the Braves got out to a strong start, pushing their lead to 6 with 2 minutes left in the first half. But Belmont Abbey went on a 6-0 run, closing in the lead going to halftime. UNCP came out of the half controlling the game, reaching a 66-61 lead. Belmont Abbey put together 9 unanswered runs and some key free throws down the stretch to pull out for the win. For the Braves, Spencer Levi notched his 12th double-double of the season, scoring 20 points and pulling down 13 rebounds. He had a career high of 5 blocks. Coach Richards praised the defense despite the loss.
Overall, I was really pleased with our defense. I mean, you hold a team that's averaging over 100 points their last 13 games is 79. I mean, holding 35% from the floor. They shoot 53 and 43 from three. You hold them to 27. I mean, you can't ask for a better defensive game. So I told the guys in the locker room, I mean, I know this how it went down is not exactly what we wanted, but it's an incredible feat defensively to do what we did against those guys. Now, on the other end of that coin, obviously we had some guys that just couldn't get the ball in the hole. We've been riding Ratliff and Tyrell and Spencer and Dion for the most part all year, and they struggle to put the ball in the hole at times, and sometimes that happens.
Despite the loss in the Conference Carolinas Championship, this Saturday, UNCP will face off in Augusta, Georgia, with the first round of the NCAA Southeast Regional quarterfinals against Flagler College. The Braves softball team faced off against Wingate in a doubleheader Sunday at home. In the first game, the Bulldogs got out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning, but the Braves came back storming with 3 runs in the bottom of the second. The Braves finished with the game to a 5-4 win. The second game, the Braves controlled the tempo, having the lead for the whole game, thanks to a strong performance from Taylor Brunette. After the game, Coach Bennett praised the pitching.
I pulled them in after the third inning and told them I thought they were being a little bit too out of the controllables, and I wanted us to reel it back in. And you guys, one, Maddie threw a great game, and then two, it was really awesome to win a low-scoring ball game because our scores have been really up there, not only with us offensively, but just we've had to score a lot of runs, and just Maddie just absolutely made us look like champs today.
Sunday, the Braves baseball team finished the weekend off with a series sweep against Clarion University. The Black and Gold pounded 15 hits and multiple home runs in the victory. Ethan Ott had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Owen Taylor followed his lead with a home run and 3 RBIs. The Braves are now on a 6-game winning streak and look to keep the momentum going. After Game 3, Coach O'Neill was matter-of-fact about the series sweep.
Obviously, it was a good weekend for us. Anytime you can win 3 games in a row on the weekend, that's a major accomplishment right there. So I'm proud of the way that we came out and we took care of business today.
The UNCP track and field teams opened their outdoor season over the weekend at UNC Wilmington. The Braves combined for 11 top 3 finishes. On the men's side, Delson Burkhart bested the field in a 1,500-meter run for an event title. Norman Junker captured an event title in a 5,000-meter run by establishing a new personal best time of 15:37.74. On the women's side, Savannah Watkins claimed runner-up honors in both 100-meter hurdles and the long jump. The Black and Gold will be back in action on March 18th for the Allen Connie Shamrock Invitational in Conway, South Carolina. Sports fans who have HBO Max will want to hear about the new series from the bit creator of Bit Short and Don't Look Up. Adam McKay is a frequent collaborator with Will Ferrell and co-wrote Anchorman and Talladega Nights. This time he's an executive producer on a show about the iconic series about the sports franchise known as the Lakers. Take a look.
I don't care who you are. If you're a human being with 2 eyes and a heart, this game, this industry makes you feel good.
What industry? Sweat socks?
No, Show business.
The time of winning time is 1979, when the LA Lakers became the talk of basketball with the arrival of a new owner, Jerry Buss, and a new star.
The Los Angeles Lakers select Magic Johnson.
For me, with the basketball stuff, the bigger thing than getting it like just right was getting the spirit just right. And just that nature that he plays with and the infectious joy that he brings when he's on the court.
Every team's got fans. We'll have celebrities. Our girls, they won't cheer. They'll dance.
Cast members remember the era vividly.
I was there. I watched these games, but they didn't invite me to come and sit on the court side. I didn't get any of that.
Kareem's autobiography, Giant Steps, is one of the first books I read. So you're talking to a literal lifelong fan of his.
Come on, Red. You afraid of competition?
No, but you're no competitor.
My father was a huge Celtics fan and used to preach the gospel of Red Auerbach. You say, see that? That's Red Auerbach. You see him smoking the stogie, that guy, and he would just go off about it.
We've got a shot here to win it all. You know how rare that is?
Series star John C. Reilly says he connected with Buss's positive attitude and trust in people.
If it seems like a good idea and your instinct is telling you this person can do great things, then go ahead and trust them, because just by trusting them, you often create great things. I want to build something special, a real dynasty.
Far out, man.
It's showtime.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's it for sports. Good luck to the wrestling team who's sending 6 qualifiers to the NCAA championship this weekend. I'm Deshaun Donald, and let's take it back to the studio.
Thanks, Deshaun, and thanks to our viewers for watching. I'm Jayla Coley.
And I'm Jay Locklear. We're taking off for spring break, but we will be back in just a few weeks.
See you then.